Hi guys, welcome to another of my tutorials, and today we are going to be looking at the count if function. And I remember previously in the previous tutorial we have looked at the count function, and we have also looked at the count blank function. So for today we are going to look at the count if function, and the count if function is very important, especially when you are doing when you're checking for a certain criteria, so that you can count the number of instances that maybe a certain criteria is met among a range of values. For the case of our demonstration today, we are going to use our demo max analysis as indicated here. So I'm going to show two examples. One, I'm going to show the example using these numbers, or using the values here in terms of numbers. I'm also going to do another example using entries in form of letters. So for the first example, we are going to use this range of cells here, where we have the computer applications marks, where you have a range of numbers ranging from cell C3 up to cell C8. So what do? As usual, we want the number of instances where we want to apply the function to appear down here. So the first step is to select the cell where you want to insert your formula, where you want to have your result. So you put the equal sign as always, and then put the count if function, and then as always you open a bracket, and you can see already Excel is asking me for a range. So what do? We say that there are two methods of entering the range. So the range is from C3, this is the first method of entering the range, up to K, up to C8, sorry, up to C8, like that. So after you input the range, you can see the range is already highlighted. Then this is followed by a comma, and then already the worksheet is asking me for a criteria. So what criteria do I want to use? For example, whatever is contained here are numbers. So that is 78, 56, 90, 90 again, 88 and 67. So I may use a criteria like, for the sake of this example, a criteria like greater than. So I'll put greater than or equals, and just before you put the greater than, remember to put the quotations to show the start of the criteria, and then it is greater than or equal to 80. So when you do that, then you close this with that, with the closing marks, and now then you close the bracket. So you can see that the criteria is greater than or equal to 80. So this shows that I want to put it, the output to be the number of instances in this range where the entry of marks for these students listed here is greater than or equals to 80. So I then click on enter like that, and you can see that it gives me a value, an output of a value of 3. So that should tell you that automatically the number of instances where you have the marks of students being greater than or equals to 80 are 3, and you can clearly confirm this because this is the first instance where you have 88, the second instance where you have 90, and the third instance where you have again 90. So let us try again in the other column next to it. This time round I can use another criteria. Maybe I can try using the criteria for less than or equal to. So I still input my formula like this, count if, and then I open the bracket like that. Then the range, we use the second method of entering the range, where you left click and drag going downwards to select the range, and then you put a comma to tell Excel that you have through with the range. Then open the quotations, and then you input the criteria where you have said that now this time we use the less than or equal to 80. Then we close the brackets at the end here, and then you click on enter. So you can see it still gives me an instance of 3, and you can confirm how many instances are less than 80? We have 1, 2, and 3. So you can clearly confirm that it has yielded our desire, where you want to have the number of instances where the marks are less than or equals to 80. So you can continue with further examples and do among these, but now I want to shift my focus to where you want to do what if you are using letters or whatever content is contained are words in the cells, where you have the status. Like here I have included another column here for the sake of this example, where I have input the status, that is the status of students. Maybe a student is a repeater, then for the sake of a normal student or a normal student who is progressing normally, I have put the word normal. So I have put a repeater there, a repeater there, a repeater there. So what if we want to have an instance where we want now to calculate the number of instances where we have, or to calculate the number of repeaters in our entries? So as well you can do this here in this cell. So you put the equal sign, and then the Countif function again comes here. Then you open the brackets, then you still input the range from that point, then put a comma, then the criteria, that is that we want to check the number of repeaters. Sorry, just a moment. The criteria is that we want to check the number of repeaters that are in between here. So the criteria here inside will be repeater. So we are checking for repeater like this, and then we click on enter. So you can see again I'm given an output of 3 because there are how many repeaters? There is 1, there is 2, there is 3. Again, for the normal students, you can still do the same thing, where you now, instead of the word repeater, we are going to replace it with the word normal. Count if, and then you open the brackets, then the range, we still use the same range, then you put a comma, then the criteria that we are going to use, and the criteria that we are using, sorry, I keep on doing that. The criteria that we are going to use is now normal, like that, and then we press on enter. So you can see I still have an instance of 3 because normal students are 1, 2, and 3. Now the question that you must be asking yourself is, what if now we want to have a criteria in more than one column, such that maybe you want to check the number of students who scored below 80 and they are also repeaters? Can we be able to do that? So we are going to be able to do that, and I will show you that in the next tutorial, where you are going to be looking at Countifs function, where it is the Countif function added with an S to show that we are looking for a certain criteria in more than one column. So stay tuned for that next tutorial. Do not forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel, and watch out for the next tutorial. Thank you.